Then we give a second one. In fact, I came with this document because at some point we decided to ensure that there's no kind of falsification. If you check now, this is what it is. And the reason why it's made this small and not exactly like a card is so that people don't go with the mistaken belief or impression that that's all there is. But this is the most important thing, the national identification number. Okay? The number is your identity. The card is just one of the 5 components of the national identity management system. The end product of this system is to give you a unique number, to give you a card, to provide a means for anyone or yourself to be able to assert your identity, to harmonize and integrate identity databases in government agencies, and provide that to the private sector and even e-government services.
I'm sorry, sir. What are we supposed to be looking for on this paper?
This is just a blank sheet. By the time you get to the enrollment center and you are enrolled, the first slip, the first sheet will contain the tracking ID.
On this paper?
Not on this paper, on a photocopy paper. Then the second one will be used. This is the paper that will be used.
Okay, this is the paper that will be used to hold it. Okay.
Yes.
Just quickly though, it didn't quite answer the question of harmonization, because the impression you gave us is that you're supposed to also collect information from private institutions who collect biometric data and maybe other government institutions, and possibly harmonize all of them with the number, the unique number which you have.
No, that's not the impression. If that's the impression I've created, I'm sorry. What I have said, and let me repeat for clarity, what we are doing now is to ensure that there is a single version of truth as far as personal information on you is concerned.
As far as the personal, sorry to interrupt, as far as the personal information you collect on me, that's NIMC collects on me, is concerned.
Yes.
Not as far as information as that I have given to every other agency, you know, which, does NIMC have responsibility for that as well?
Under the harmonization and integration function of the Commission, right, there is a process, there is a program for creating interoperability so that whatever data these other institutions have can be able to talk to our data.
That was a question I was asking in terms of where are we in terms of that integration.
Hang on. When you then create that interoperability, you can then set a date and say, hey guys, we are talking about the same individual. It's the same Chris Onyemenam that goes to obtain a driver's license. It's the same Chris Onyemenam that goes to obtain an international passport. It's the same Chris Onyemenam that goes to all of these institutions for one thing or the other. But you need a single version of truth concerning my identity. You need a proof of my identity. And so you are likely to see in any of these other institutions such fields in their form or in their database as first name, middle name, surname, age, you know, those common set of information. And so what we did was to create a harmonization and integration implementation committee. We have a unified demographic standard. We have a unified biometric standard. We have a harmonization policy. We have the business rules. We have created for the most important organizations, and there are 14 of them, ranging from the police, SSS, Chief of Defense Staff, Corporate Affairs Commission, National Population Commission, INEC, the prisons, immigration, central bank, pension, NHIS, about 14 of them. We've created the first line of back-end infrastructure, which is to connect all of them
to access it.
Yes, to be able to access it. And We also have a disaster recovery site. Now, these are not things Nigerians would see, just like it was in the case of the GSM, for them to be able to interconnect.
I'm trying to see how much we can get here now. What is required of a Nigerian who approaches the registration center to get registered? Because the risk here in all of this, that's why we're asking, is, well, the criminals in our midst, the non-Nigerians who would want to cash in on this to also get registered at the end of the day. So what do you do to ensure that it is only the Nigerian that is registered?
I think the best way to look at it is to say which is more important, to know the person or to confer citizenship on the person. It's not our responsibility to confer citizenship. The card does not confer citizenship on you. If you go to the United States, and this is part of what we've had to address, people say to you, it's so easy to get a social security number in the U.S. And it is. I mean, if you follow the rules in days, it's done. And then they say they don't understand why we're finding it difficult to issue national identity card in Nigeria. It's because they're not the same. They're two different things. The social security number in the U.S. is an intelligent number. You see it, you can say a few things about the individual. Now, the national identification number we issue in Nigeria is a non-intelligent 11-digit number. Okay? The number is your identity, just as it is in the U.S. If you then go to ask for one form of card from road safety or any of these other ones, then you are not being specific to some of the services in government. So what we've done is to take the traditional means and then the orthodox approach that we currently have. You come in, the enrollment officers have been trained to be able to ascertain who you are. We also have a list of documents that you can use as your primary source document, in which case you come in and I say to you, you want to enroll? Yes. Okay, where's your form? Do you have any proof that this name that you are claiming is yours? That will be scanned, and it will form part of the documentation that is sent to the back end. So if tomorrow you lay claim to a change in name, or you say you are no longer the person, there's an error or something, we have a record. You came with something. We're not going to send you back if you don't come with something anyway, but it will be noted.
You know,
secondly, just a minute. Secondly, we are working out an arrangement with the Immigration Service so that in our border positions, it is possible. That's their responsibility. They are in a better position to tell us, we think this guy is not a citizen. Now, if you are a legal resident, we will enroll you, and we will recognize it as such. And that's the beauty of the scheme, that what we want to establish is an infrastructure that provides proof of identity. That's the most important thing.
And you get so many Nigerians to Kim, because as you rightly pointed out in the past, what you usually have is a time frame in which everybody must register. But now it would seem that what NIMC is doing, I keep saying NIMC, is doing is encouraging people to come and register anyway, and there is no time frame for it. What is the response you're getting?
The response is gradually picking up. We're about 1 million in the database, and that is because we've been piloting. I've tried not to say a lot of things.
And because perhaps you don't have so many registration centers.
No, yes, you're right. We don't have as of now, but in the next phase, we are going to all the local government areas, and our expectation is that by December 31, by the grace of God, we will be in all local government areas, and that would then have sufficiently...
December 31 this year?
Yes. That would then have sufficiently spread out the centers.
Are you working with NOA? Because when you talk about the registration of such, and you don't have too many of them for now in all the local governments, how aware are the people so that they can approach such centers?
You see, this room will not be built in a day. and need not be built in a day. We're not reinventing the wheel. This is what is being done everywhere in the world. There's a global trend. Create an enrollment center that is citizen-centric, if you like. So people feel that if you walk in seconds, in minutes, you are done and you get away. So we've created a pre-enrollment portal where you do your demographics. So any Nigerian anywhere in the world can do part of the enrollment and then you must come to our enrollment center for the biometrics.